Y'all, I am completely beside myself this week. Like, I just, I can't. Let's get into it. Take 4. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. As always, I'm Michael. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube where I talk about all of my crafting adventures, whether it be knitting or crocheting. How's everyone doing? It has been 2 weeks since my last podcast. Actually, a little bit less because I think last time I uploaded on a Sunday, and this time I'm going to be uploading on a Saturday. So it's Saturday, November 21st, I believe. The dates, again, what is time? We're all sort of in this void of time right now. I can't believe it's November. It's kind of wild. Like, Thanksgiving is this week. If you celebrated Diwali, hope you had a great celebration. I think that was last weekend. Yeah, and I just welcome back to you all. If you are returning, and if this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. I hope you stick around and enjoy what I have to offer. You guys, this past 2 weeks has been sort of wild. I uploaded my last video, and I think like most people who are uploading things on YouTube, especially within the crafting community, or at least what I see is people's first couple videos, they're like, oh, I hope someone watches this, or like, it's only gonna be my family and friends that watch. And I sort of thought that too. And over the past couple weeks, it's been really dope to just have an inpouring of love and welcoming from so many people within this community. And so to start off this video, I just wanted to do a little holler back session to say thank you to a bunch of people who I was sitting, crafting, watching their podcasts, and I usually have a notebook next to me for keeping track of where I am in patterns and things like that. And sometimes when people are like, oh, I want to mention like a podcast or a book that I'm reading or watching or a podcast I'm watching, I like to jot those down and then hopefully get back to them later. But so many people, I got my stuff ready and so many people were saying that they were watching me. And so that's really awesome. So a couple people, Scott from Great Scott Knitting, thanks so much. Love watching his channel. He's also got some cool dye tutorials over there because he's getting into dyeing yarn, which I think is really neat. Kim from the Crafting Nomad. That was really wild. I think it's cool when people comment on videos and then they say like, oh, found you through so-and-so, because like all of us, like we're not watching every single thing that comes out all the time. Or we have to go back and, maybe you missed an episode or two and so you have to catch up. And so it's cool to go to other people's videos and then watch and be like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Another person, Abigail. Hi, Abigail from Covert Knits. I met Abigail at Denise Byron. She had a Wave of Change meetup during Rhinebeck weekend. And like I'd been following her on Instagram, maybe messaged her a couple times, and then got to sit in the room with her and hear her talk about her Wave of Change jacket, which was really awesome. So thanks for the shout out on your podcast. Aquila, who is my new knitting bestie over at the Lefty Knitter podcast. She's great. The two of us had a little bonding moment over being excited about listening to music, which is really awesome. So if you don't watch that, go check her out. And then my last one is completely blown away. I mean, I'm blown away by everyone, but I was watching the latest live of the Grocery Girls, Jody and Tracy, and they totally gave me a shout out. And I was like, wait, what in the world is going on? This is so crazy. So thank you, ladies. Hello, if you all are watching as well. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, it's been nice to just have people be like, oh, this is great. Like, here's another male knitter who's out here doing cool stuff. You guys should go and check him out. So thank you so much. And to anyone who's coming to my channel from their channels, thank you so much for watching. All right, let's get into it. I have a few things to share with you all this week. First, I can start with what I'm wearing. It's a little bit cold in my apartment, not gonna lie. So I threw on, this is my Chrysler Shawl. I made this, take this off really fast. I made this earlier in the year. It's huge. I love a schlanket. Like, I'm kind of tallish, I'm 6 feet. So I like something that's sort of substantial. It feels more like a scarf, you know? So this is a Stephen West pattern. It's out of the Shawl Evolution, I think the 3rd book. And I did it all, obviously, if you've been watching, you know I've brought her up multiple times, out of Murky Depths. I know that the like rusty orange color is called Picante, and I think the gray is Cillian, maybe? I'm not really sure on that. You can check my Ravelry page. Oh, if you want to follow me on Ravelry, I'm at Piece4PeaceCraft, and on Instagram, I'm Piece4PeaceCrafting. Yeah, so this is just a huge shawl. I love it. It keeps me nice and warm. Again, I'm in Chicago, so it gets cold here. And yeah, it's nice to just have stuff to bundle up in, especially during those cold days. So I have a few FOs to show you all. If you follow me over on Instagram, you've probably seen most of these already, but yeah, if you haven't, here they are. So I got in a little bit of a sock knitting kick, which I feel like tends to happen to me. So if you've seen my previous episodes, you know that I've talked a little bit about wanting to learn how to make socks last year, and just like going about that journey of seeing what that was like to actually, you know, make socks for myself. And so, right, I have a few to show you here today. I've heard a lot of people talking about the Rose City Rollers pattern. Again, I love a shorty sock. I'd never tried it, and so I wanted to give it a whirl because a lot of people were making it, thought it looked really awesome, and so I made myself a pair. These are knit out of the Knit Picks Felici, which again, I never used that yarn before either, so that was really cool to use the Knit Picks Felici self-striping yarn, and these are in the colorway Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. I absolutely, sorry, I'm gonna set one down. I love the way these turned out. So it's a cool rainbow. I love the little rolled cuff. I do all my socks for myself on 2.25s or US 1s with 72 stitches. Now, the thing about these sock blockers that bothers me like a tiny, tiny bit is that I feel like because I'm a size US 10, they don't really like fit properly. So it's always a little tricky, like the first time I wash them. Like the first time I do it, I'll wash them and then put them on these for them to dry. And then after that, like I'll throw them in the wash, let them lay out to dry, whatever. But I do like the way that it looks the first time around after you first make them, to put them on the blockers. If anyone knows of someone that makes sock blockers that are like extendable, that go up for like men's sizing, can you let me know in the comments? That'd be really dope, because I would love to check that out. So that's my first pair. Loved the pattern, super fun. And like I said, I love a shorty sock, so they go really quickly, even though my foot is like sort of big, not really. And so once I finished those, I decided that I wanted to cast on another pair. Again, I love shorty, so most of the socks I make are shorty socks. And so another color that I used was Aquarium. It's also Knit Picks Felici. And you guys, I'm obsessed with this color. I love the like bright neon-y stripes that are in there. And the blue greens are just like really, really rad. Love these. So the only modification I made to the pattern was that for this pair, I decided I was just going to do a simple 1x1 rib on the top just to like break it up a little bit. I love the rolled cuff, but I thought doing just a little ribbing on the top would make them a little bit different. And again, I love how they turned out. I think they're super cute. This color is just like, I should just go online and buy more of it because it's so good. Actually, it would be really cool to make a long pair with this colorway. Yeah, these are really hot. And then I told you guys I'm on a sock kick. Then my last pair, I think, well, I'd seen people making the Coffee Talk socks before by Tracy Miller, and I'm sometimes for myself, I'm a little bit hesitant to making a patterned sock for myself. Although I think it was in my second episode maybe, I made the V-stitch or V-junkie socks. And those have a pattern on them. And that was, I mean, I love those socks. But normally when I'm making socks for myself, I usually tend to do just like a plain vanilla. I'm not sure why. Yeah, anyway. So I'd seen this this pattern for the Coffee Talk socks. And I know Ray from Needles at the Ready is making a pair too. And I saw his and I was like, oh, actually that looks pretty awesome. Let me give this pattern a whirl. So I bought the pattern and yeah, I decided to cast on a pair for myself. So these, again, Knit Picks Felici, the self-striping, really awesome. This color is called Beyond the Wall. And I use that for the main body of the sock. And then the heels, toes, and cuff I did in just some Knit Picks Bare Felici. Like if you see right here, I have a couple skeins in like different weights. I dyed yarn once, like this yarn right here. It was like dyed with Kool-Aid. Myself and a friend dyed some, just having fun one night. And this other orange in the back, I dyed with one of my friend's kids. We had a science experiment and we dyed some yarn up and I ended up making him a little pair of socks with the yarn that we dyed together. Super fun. So these, if you haven't seen this pattern, again, everything's 72, 2.25. They have this really awesome texture on the front. And for me, I thought that this was like just enough of a pattern that it wasn't too busy and too wild. And I was also a little bit nervous because the yarn was self-striping if the pattern would really read using it with the self-striping, if that makes sense. But I absolutely love the way that those turned out. They fit awesome. They're really great. I'm almost positive I'm going to cast on another pair of these because the pattern is super memorizable. While I was doing the first sock, it took me a little bit to just like get into a rhythm of it. That's like with any pattern, really. And then once I did, it just like sort of flew by. I also really love the way that Tracy in her patterns has written the way to do the heel and how you go about picking up the stitches along the edge of the heel flap before you start your gusset. It's pretty sweet. I think I showed on here before I did on the porch socks, and that was my first sock pattern of hers that I'd made. And I was pretty blown away. Not blown away. Yeah, blown away by like how seamless it all just sort of came together. And so I think for myself moving forward, like whenever I personally like a heel flap on my sock, having done a few, and yeah, I think that's going to be my go-to way of like doing the heel flapping gusset is her method. I don't know if it's her method, but like I love the way that she explains it in her patterns. It makes it super easy to understand, and you don't get any yarn that gets in the way, especially when you're switching between colors from a main color to a contrasting color in the heel, which is really cool. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. So those are my finished objects for the past couple weeks. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen them. It's cool. Love to share them and show them here. So I needed to go out a couple days ago. We're sort of on like a stay-at-home advisory again here in Chicago. And I was out just doing some errands one day, and there was a Michael's nearby where I was. And so I just decided to pop in and peruse just really quickly. I'm very much a like go in, get what you need, get out, especially during this time. And so since I was on a sock kick, I just decided to go over and check out what Patton's Croy they had in stock there. And so I picked up a couple skeins because I wanted to cast on a couple more pairs of socks soon, which is so wild because I feel like I've been making kind of bigger projects a little bit. And for some reason, like those 3 pairs of socks just like flew by, and I was really into it. So maybe it's just because they felt smaller. Anyway, they were flying off the needles. So here's my first color that I picked up. It is just turquoise stripes. It's a Patton's Croy. I think it's really cool. It's got some like lighter greens, or I guess turquoise, some darker blues, some blacks in there. And the Patton's Croy is really awesome. I have another pair of socks using this yarn, and I absolutely love them. And since it's getting colder, I thought maybe, for some reason to me, this feels more woolly, if that makes sense. Like they just feel like a warmer, sturdier sock. Yeah, so I had to pick up some of this. So that's my first one. And then the second one I picked up was, let me find the name here. Oh, it's just called Gray Brown Marl. And I thought this was really pretty too. Something fun. Another self-striping. I'm really into the self-striping. It's so true. Like when you're making socks and you just like are going around and around, and then you're like, oh, I can get to the next color. Oh, I can get to the next color. It makes it really easy to just keep going and have them be finished so much sooner because you're just trying to get to that next color. So that's all my FOs for this week. I have 2, sorry, just looking for my bag here. I have 2 whips that I'm currently working on. So if you watched my last episode, I was talking about my friend who asked me to make her some Christmas stockings. And I had a chance this week, while not working from home, to get a little bit of work done on those. And the pattern that was given to me was knit flat, because I think what are those called? Just like the little images that are supposed to be on the sock are supposed to be in tarja. I don't really know how to do that. Not yet. It's one of my goals is to learn how to do that. So I just decided I was going to read the pattern, go through my friend's stocking that I have to mend, count out all the rows, and then copy or mimic what the pattern was based on what her sock looked like. So this is like a half hoe because it's sort of done, but not. So I have the first one finished. It's so cute. And this is all knit out of Red Heart Super Saver, just in a red, a green, and a white. So it looks just like the one that she'd given me. And then I have marked out, I don't know if you can, oh yeah, I have marked out with stitch markers just where the images that I'm going to place on them are. I thought I made one of the little snowmen, so this one is going to have a snowman on it. He's wearing a scarf. I thought I brought that with me, but apparently I didn't. So this will get a snowman put on him, and then I will go back over. So what I'm doing is just taking sort of the intarsia pattern and just reading it and then knitting it on its own, and then I'll sew the little snowman over the top of it, which might seem like a little bit more work, but because I would love for them to have these by Christmas this year, I thought that this would be a faster way, is to just read the pattern, figure out how to make the little snowman, and then sew it on there. And then for the top portion where their little son's name will go, I'm just going to go back over and double stitch over it and add his name to the top of it. This is really cute. I'm not one for like hanging Christmas stockings, but when I was done making this one, I was like, oh, this is really cute. Like, low key, I should have one of these in my house for myself. Really love it. So this is sort of half finished. I have another one to make. That one's going to get a Christmas tree on it, which I'm super excited to do that one too. So hopefully in the next episode, before I pass these off to my friend, I will be able to show you all what those look like. This is such a fun project. Again, I love a sentimental thing, and so it was so sweet when she asked if I would be willing to carry on in this sort of, in her family's tradition of having someone make them all Christmas stockings. So I'm going to get that one done for her little nugget, and I'm going to work on one for her hubby and get those off hopefully by the beginning of December. Fingers crossed that gets done. My second whip, I feel like I'm talking really fast today. Maybe it's because the last time I said, oh, this episode isn't going to be long, and it also ended up being like 45 minutes long. Yikes. Anyway, I watch a ton of podcasts. The length of time doesn't really bother me at all. Let me know if it bothers you all. Like, I'm sitting down crafting anyway, so like, yeah, it's just like sitting down with friends, helps me pass the time. I don't really worry too much about it. Anyway, last episode I showed I was working on the Grace sweater by Denise Byron. I don't have the pattern, sorry, but I will link it down below. Again, this is living in my awesome, beautiful sister bag, their sweater bag. Absolutely lovely. If you don't know Beautiful Sister, you should go and check them out. They will also be linked below. They're always doing shop updates. They have great stuff in their shop all the time. So this is, sorry, I'm gonna not get this yarn tangled. This is where I am with my sweater. So I put this little stitch marker, which if you saw Toy Story, you might think this is funny. It just says I'm trash. Hilarious. So this is where I was last time, and now the body of the sweater is done, which is awesome. I'm loving the cabling that's going down the front, and then of course it's twisted, and then again I'm doing my sleeves 2 at a time. So I'm done with the decreases. Actually, there's all my stitch markers for the decreases, and it's just sort of the home stretch really in finishing this. I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and they're bulky, and this is the current colorway. Yeah, this detailing that goes even, I love that it starts at the neck. That's like sort of a mock turtleneck, and then goes all the way down even to the base of the sweater, so like the ribbings on the outside, and then you still have that cable that extends all the way down. It's so elegant. You can even see here, I have a couple little threads sticking out. So for me, I think maybe on my second sweater, I started doing a Russian join to join my yarn. I'll try to find a video. If you don't know what a Russian join is, you basically are like linking the two yarns over each other and then threading it back on itself to just create a join, basically. And I really love that one. I think it works out well for all the projects that I've done, and I've pretty much done it on all the sweaters I've knit, well, except for my first one. Granted, this is only like my 4th or 5th. So I've been doing it on all of them. I love it. Sometimes they will stick out, and so before I go and block it, I'll make sure to go in and snip those off, but it makes it way easier. And doing the sleeves 2 at a time, like I said before, is just like so quality. Yeah, it makes it go by so much faster. That way you don't have to like finish one, let it sit around, wait to get to the other one in hopes that like you won't be over it. Yeah, just doing them both at the same time is really cool. Which also, going back to doing socks, like I'm not one, like I always do my socks one at a time, and I'm totally team DPN when it comes to socks. But since I've been doing the sleeves of my sweaters 2 at a time, maybe it's because the yarn is bigger, I'm not using fingering weight, I think I might want to try doing socks 2 at a time. Like, I know Magic Loop has its place. It's cool. Clearly, I'm doing it right now. Yeah, but for some reason, like, doing socks 2 at a time always made me feel a little bit like, I don't know about that. But I think maybe I'll try it with the yarn I just bought. I'll give it a shot and see what that's like. Because I'm sure it'll make more sense to me now since I've been doing my sleeves 2 at a time. Yeah, let's hope. Fingers crossed. The last-ish thing I want to show is what's sort of next up in the line of things that I'm going to be making. So I have another friend. I feel like on every episode I'm always talking about, oh, my friends, my friends, my friends. That's good. Your chosen family is important. A friend of mine, she's also a crafter, she crochets, she'd bought some yarn while she was back at home at the beginning of quarantine, pandemic, whatever. She was back home, and she picked up some yarn, and she's currently working on a shawl for herself, and she told me about this yarn that she'd gotten, and she was like, yeah, I kind of really want like some sort of cable-y hat maybe, or something. I'm not really sure. And so I was like, well, if you don't want to look for a crochet cable pattern, you can send the yarn, or like give me the yarn. We can socially distance, you can pass it off to me and give me the yarn, and I can find a cable knit hat pattern for you. And she was like, amazing, I love this story, I'll send it your way. So of course I dropped the tag. I can pull out this one. So here's the yarn. This is, let me see here. So this is Mountaintop by Classic Elite Yarns, and I believe it's so here's the tag. Hold up, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Let me do this. You would think, or maybe you wouldn't think that I would know what I was doing, but okay, here we go. So this is the label for it, and this is the shallot colorway, I believe shallot, and so this year it's 50. They're 50-gram balls. They are so 70-30, so 70% baby alpaca and 30% bamboo viscose, which I'm not sure I've worked with that blend before. Anyway, it's a bulky weight yarn. There's a slight little halo on it, and I love it. It's super neutral, very beautiful. And I believe it's chain plied. I don't know if you can see that, but I've never worked with a chain plied yarn before. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about that as well. So I've been looking for patterns for bulky weight, cute cable patterns. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking these two. And I had a little, obviously, because I'm obsessed, I had some mohair dyed by Murky Depths. I believe, I don't remember the colorway and I don't have the tag on me. But I use this in another project. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold these two together. So not only will the alpaca and bamboo be really soft, but then this nice little fuzz of the mohair added on top of it will just make for like ultra squishy, yummy goodness. Yeah, so I'm super excited to get that done too. Hopefully by the next episode, I'll have a hat to show. So that's pretty sweet. Let me think. Again, I took notes because I knew I'd forget something. And I want to make sure that I talk about everything. Yeah, I think that's all of like my FOs, my whips, what I plan to be making pretty soon. Just two little things. So last episode, I decided that I would do a little tag at the end and talk about some recommendations. And I read kind of everything. And so oddly enough, in the last episode that the grocery girls were talking about, I don't follow, or I follow Shelby. I think she's Shelby in the book club. I don't read along or like even know what books are coming out. I usually hear about what's happening there through the grocery girls, and then I'm like, oh, let me see if I can add that to my Libby app, which is the app for the library, and see if there's an audio version of it. And so when I was watching their latest episode, they were talking about that the book club that's going on, or the book for the book club, the book for the book club right now is Children of Blood and Bone. Now, and it's by Tomi Adeyinke, I think is her name. I didn't know that was what they were reading, and I've been listening to it, and I'm about halfway through it. It is so good. If you like stories that have a little bit of magic, and there's a hierarchy, sort of like turmoil that's going on with these like I don't want to say villagers, but these just like more working class African folks and the monarch, you will love it. Check it out. Read the synopsis. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's Children of Blood and Bone. It's really great. I know that there's a second book, and I believe there's a third book that is on the way, coming out soon. I'll have to look into it. It might be next year, but also next year is like literally weeks away at this point. My last thing is, I love that I started this last week, so I kind of want to keep it going, is music recommendations. So if you had a chance to check out, I posted last time the link to the Janelle Monáe Emotion picture for the album Dirty Computer. If you had a chance to check it out, let me know down below. What were your favorite songs? Were you feeling it? Were you not? I know not everyone's musical taste is the same, but like, it's just like yarn. Not everyone's going to be into everything, but it's at least worth a listen. Yeah, maybe there'll be one or two songs that you might really enjoy. So this week, I wanted to recommend an oldie. So this is, we all know Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, obviously, right? Really popular, very timely still. But this is his, you can see the ring light in the album. Let's do it this way. This is his 1976 album, I Want You. I can't say enough about this. There's a bunch of instrumental tracks on here, sort of a theme that goes throughout the whole album. The album is such a vibe. I love either when I'm crafting or Sunday doing chores, making dinner. Putting on this album is a total groove session. Also, the album artwork is by Ernie Barnes, and I just love that painting that's on the front of it. I believe, if you know of the show Good Times, I'm pretty sure it's the same artist that did the mural for that as well. Anyway, Marvin Gaye, I Want You. Check this album out. Let me know what you think down below. Yeah, I think you guys will like it. It's pretty groovy. Oh, there's some great songs on here. Honorable mentions, obviously the title track, I Want You. And what's my other fave? After the Dance, the instrumental, fire. It's so good. I love an instrumental track. I think it comes from like me being a dancer, having been a dancer, not a dancer anymore, teaching dance though. And so like listening to a lot of music that obviously didn't have lyrics, whether it was classical or if we were doing something contemporary, just like music without lyrics, really into it. But that whole album is a banger. Like, I'm really into it. Let me know what you think. So I think, looking around, oh no, I have one more thing. Oh my gosh. Disaster. Not really. Really quickly, so a couple episodes ago, I showed my moving forward wrap. I had knit another one as a part of the knit along that Denise Byron was having. She was doing like Zoom meetups while the cow was going on. And so in the last one, she was giving out prizes sort of every week for people who had completed sections. And so then the last week, there was like a big FO giveaway thing. Oddly enough, wild, I won one of the prizes. So this is my second time this year winning something, which is like really crazy. And so what I got was, they just came in the mail recently, which is totally dope, are these two coffee mugs by Jenny the Potter. So one in white, one in black. Really amazing mugs. I haven't had a chance to use them yet. Like I said, they just came. It's a little bit harder to see on the black, but I'll show you on the white one. So the mug has the engraved in it the stitch pattern of the moving forward wrap, which, what? So awesome. So not only is it like really practical, but it's like super crafty. I mean, obviously, because it's a handmade mug, but it like is a shout out to, or a nod to, the pattern. So I thought that was really lovely. I'll link Jenny the Potter down below too. She has some really beautiful stuff on her site. Yeah, so this was a fun little surprise. I like went to the door and saw there was a package and I was like, who's that for? It was for me. Yeah, and they're just so cute. And I love that there's a black one and a white one. So matchy-matchy, but not sort of yin and yang. Yeah, so some tea will be put into those very soon. And now I think that is, let me do another check. There's so much stuff around me. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. I know if you are in the States, that next week we will be celebrating Thanksgiving. So I hope all of you have a safe time celebrating. Please keep your group small. Only be with people in your home if you can. Yeah, we wanna get to Christmas in a positive light if we can. Right, and for everyone that is celebrating, like, and you can't be together with family, call them. Call not only your like immediate family, but call your chosen family. We all need each other right now. Yeah, keep pushing through. The holiday season is like in full swing. Like I said last time, people are putting up their Christmas trees. I'm here for it. Yeah, so hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. I can't wait to talk to everyone in another couple of weeks. Again, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. You can ring the bell if you want notifications of when I'll be posting my next video. And I think that's about it. So since everyone's going to be off for the holiday, make sure you make a piece, spread some peace. Peace. Talk to you guys soon.